All right, welcome everybody to a special episode. This isn't Pick Our Brains. This is kind of an extra thing where me and Max, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the book selling online world, and we just wanted to make a video about it.
Crazy, yes.
Yeah. So I guess the point of this video is that Amazon is having some major disruptions with their FBA system for booksellers and other sellers as well. And we are going to talk about some
Right,
of the alternatives, I guess.
right. And not just books, it's video games, it's CDs, it's DVDs, it's people who were ungated in categories are now being gated. This has sort of been an ongoing problem about a month now or so, and it's really coming to a head. There's a lot of angry Amazon people who do FBA, which means you're sending the books to the Amazon warehouse or the video games or the DVDs. And once they sell, Amazon ships them for you. And now what's happening is there seems to be a shift in the market and the pricing. And now people who were now doing shipping to getting the items to Amazon may now be forced to have to ship them themselves MF style and merchant fulfilled and have them on your shelves or in your warehouse, which is a completely different type of business than the FBA sellers want. And so there's a lot of people who are upset with Amazon right now, unsure. Amazon isn't really responding or answering or corresponding with their sellers. And so there seems to be a lot of gray area on what's going on. Is it a glitch? Is it a new way of selling? Um, or what is the mysterious issue? And I think that you and I have been talking about this. I do a little bit of Amazon. Amazon is, in my revenue streams, probably third or fourth down the line, but I'm still active in it every day. And I think we need to talk a little bit about not the complaints of Amazon. That's not what, this is not who I am, as in the paper gold group. I'm all about solution based and creating solutions to problems. And if we have to pivot, we pivot. If we have to do something new or learn something new. And I think the reason for this call that we're doing today, this video, is to come up with some solutions. And the one thing that you and I know above everything else is the eBay market. And you and I both do very well. We do six figures every year on Amazon, high six figures every year on eBay,
Mhm.
and not Amazon, on eBay. And I think we want to bring a little clarity, a little lucidity to Amazon sellers who may be doing FBA, and maybe there's an inkling in their idea that maybe pivoting towards eBay may be something. And I wanted to do a little clarity video for them. And so hence we're here now.
Yeah, and I mean the benefit for Amazon sellers to do FBA is you can have thousands and thousands of books and you just mail them to the warehouse, they store it for you, and then when it sells, they ship it. But it's not a free service, and that's kind of one of the things that Amazon sellers they think they're getting this great service, but they're paying for it.
Mhm.
Whereas now it's not a complete loss because if they
Right,
have to switch to merchant fulfilled, so storing the books at their own location and then shipping them when they sell,
right.
they're saving the fees so they could probably afford to put some of that into renting space or paying someone to ship or doing the shipping
Right.
themselves.
And while they are not, if you and I sell 25 books today on eBay, we're going to be shipping 25 books. The FBA sellers, they're going to be shipping their 25 books well ahead of time, all in one box, and they
Mhm.
don't have to worry about it once it's in Amazon's warehouses, other than refunds and returns and whatnot. But they do their work ahead of time. We do our work upon the sale.
Yep. And I will say, I think one of the reasons that, well, a few of the reasons I would say that Amazon sellers love FBA and are hesitant to even attempt eBay is because of the storage space, having shelves full of books and
Mhm.
waiting for them to sell. And then I would say listing, they're afraid of putting the work into listing, taking your own pictures and doing
Wait
that.
a second. The work. Now let's get that
Wait,
misnomer
last
out.
thing. Last
Yeah.
thing is the shipping. And I will
Yeah.
say, as someone that ships 15 to 30 packages a day, it can be unbelievably simple, especially if it's a
Mhm.
$10 to maybe $40 book, I throw them in bubble mailers.
Right.
I'm going to make a special video about how I ship stuff. It can be lickety split, just like the Amazon workers throwing it in a bubble padded mailer or a box. Maybe if it's more expensive, putting it in bubble wrap before you put it in the mailer, it can be lickety split for shipping large quantities of stuff.
Right. But let's clear up on the misnomer of how much work it is to do eBay. I mean, for me or you to do a listing, your listings probably take a little bit longer than mine because you're dealing with a different kind of book. But
Yep.
I think my listings are under 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes at the most. And I'm probably listing a 40 to $100 book for that. So if I could do 10, 15 listings an hour, the value of what I'm putting into my eBay inventory, I feel like far exceeds that of what Amazon, if I had sent this stuff to Amazon and what their fees would take out.
Hmm. And
So
I know,
often, yeah, so often I'm seeing the numbers of Amazon sellers and seeing the fees. I'm seeing the incredible amount of fees that Amazon takes, and I just wonder that there has to be another way during this struggle that Amazon has for its sellers. And I want to help out those Amazon sellers who may be thinking eBay or whatnot or any of the other major platforms that you and I utilize on a day-to-day basis.
yeah, and I think me and you do things a little differently. I usually do 12 pictures, you usually do more, but
Mhm.
then you don't have to write a big long
Right.
description because you're having a picture of everything. They're seeing every angle, they're seeing any potential issues, the signature, all that stuff.
Mhm.
So you spend a few extra seconds taking pictures of stuff, but then you're saving on the description. And I
Right.
will say there are quite a few people that maybe are more doing bulk on eBay. They're trying to get the best price for people and selling more, that
Right.
a lot of times their description will maybe just be title, author, date, and then
Sure.
good condition, fair condition, very good condition, new
Right.
condition.
Right.
They're not spending a ton of time writing big long descriptions of the stuff. You don't have to.
Right. And you and I, we both understand the velocity of which selling video games or books or CDs or DVDs on Amazon. We understand the beauty of the velocity of that. It's
Yeah.
not like we don't understand that. You and I just like dealing with a different type of book, a higher dollar book, outside of textbooks for Amazon, of course, but that has its own dangers as well. And there's just so many other avenues. People on Amazon were getting gated for items they were ungated on. Well, 99% of the time there are no gates on eBay. You can
None.
list everything you want, whether it's Disney or Universal or Marvel. You can list what matter of fact, I think you sent me some Marvel
Hmm.
omnibuses that we've sold recently.
Yep.
So I mean there's no gates, and even if an item is restricted, if it's a restricted item on Amazon, what do you and I do? We put it on eBay.
Yep. And I think if any of the Amazon sellers want to attempt eBay, it opens a whole new, and even textbooks is such a huge market that Amazon sellers for the most part don't have access to. And then also the pre-ISBN books, the vintage and collectible
Mhm.
books. Now, I think a lot of Amazon sellers, people that have been just Amazon, will have to learn how to do that stuff.
Right.
It's not exactly easy to, Amazon, you scan the barcode and
All
it
right.
tells you all kinds of information as far as sales price, and you see the history of it with the chart, rank, and e-score and all that stuff.
Right.
Um, so you definitely, it takes a little bit more time to probably learn what's good for eBay.
Yes, but here's the problem that I've never been able to understand with Amazon sellers is they are going to the same estate sales as I am. They're
Yeah.
going to the same thrift stores as I am. They're going to the same garage sales. They're doing all the things that you and I do, but they're ignoring those books that we prefer. And what you and I think are saying is stop ignoring those books. Learn a little bit. Just learn a little bit of what the market can do for you. And if you're in an estate sale and there's a lot of non-barcode books, I guarantee you some of those are money makers, if not a lot of them are money makers. And that's the point I want to get across to Amazon sellers today.
Yeah, I've seen Amazon sellers, and when they're outsourcing, they'll skip over Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, C.S. Lewis, or they'll take it and they'll trade it into a local bookstore who love that stuff. And eBay sellers love that stuff. It's the easiest stuff in the world to sell. Easton Press books are the easiest things in the world to ever sell. And Amazon sellers will trade those in or just overlook them. And we're like, man, that's the easiest money you could ever make is
Yeah.
sourcing
I
stuff.
was in an estate sale about a month ago, and there was a lot of music books, a lot of hardcover music books. And there was a couple, man and woman, that were scanning. They both had scanners,
Hmm.
and they were just looking for the barcode books. And I overheard them, and there weren't many people in the room. It was like a little living room area. And I remember the wife saying to the husband, "Oh, this one's a $7 profit," and him saying, "Grab it."
Hmm.
And I'm looking at all the non-barcodes, and there were signed non-barcode books by musicians. There was a signed Mick Jagger book from the early 70s. It didn't even have a barcode at that point, but it was signed. And I want the Amazon sellers to understand you're in the same rooms as we are. You just have to look a little bit deeper. And even if you're a clothing reseller, you and I research books the same way the clothing sellers research clothes. You're looking for sold comps. You don't have to be a reader. You don't have to be a book person or a bibliophile or a book collector. You just have to know how to comp things out. And we have in the Paper Gold group that I run, we have a seller who was an all Amazon seller. He used to ignore me when I talked about eBay. I'm not going to say his name here. He knows who he is. And he every time we would talk eBay and Amazon and all the other platforms. And when I got on my eBay speeches, he would walk away and come back when it was Amazon time.
Yep.
And then he struggled a little bit and he got in trouble with Amazon, and he was forced to do something different. And he started listening to the eBay talk, started asking eBay questions, and now almost a year in, he's a full-time eBay seller, making a comfortable living selling books. And it's going to just get better and better for him in 2025, as he does his free book pickup service and gets all those great non-barcode books on pickups.
Yep. And I mean, we do the same thing as Amazon sellers. If I'm at a bookstore and they're asking $100 for an antique book,
Mhm.
I'm looking it up on eBay quick and seeing what's available, and then going to check what has sold the last either 3 months or the last 3 years. So we're just doing the research ourselves. Maybe
Mhm.
it takes a little bit more time and we don't have a chart, but my and your brains can look at what's listed and
Right.
what's sold for a book title and analyze it ourselves.
Right. I guess, one of the biggest problems I have with the misinformation out there on the YouTube and Instagram market is how much more work it is for eBay. Um, you know, as if taking 10, 12, or 15 or 24 pictures, which eBay allows, is an extensive amount of time in life. Uh, to take 10 pictures or 24 pictures is another minute of your life. 10 listings of those books is 10 more minutes.
Yep.
It isn't a lot of extra work. It isn't a lot of extra knowledge. The idea that eBay is a lot of work is just completely and uncharacteristically wrong to even put that out there. If you don't like eBay for whatever reasons, it's not about the level of work. It's more about who you are and what you want out of life.
And I think me and you probably don't spend too much time listing 10, 12, $15 books.
Oh,
We're doing for sure $20 plus because it's not worth your
yeah,
couple minutes to list a $10 book
yeah.
unless you know it's going to be a very quick sell. But then I think Amazon sellers would be shocked. Me and you are both selling multiple $100 plus books every day,
Mhm.
where I think on Amazon that's probably pretty rare.
Yeah, yeah. And just to clarify, because someone's going to go into my eBay store and go, "Oh my gosh, he's listing something at $18." Yeah, my lowest number is 18.25. That's my lowest number. But I also understand the market that most people buy books within the $15 to $25 range.
Yeah.
That's over 70% of the book market. So you do want to have those books in your inventory, $15 to $25 books that are going to sell and make up the bulk of your business. Like you just said, we are, I think 2 days ago, 3 days ago, you sold the book for about $500 or so.
Hmm.
Uh, I sold one yesterday for 400. I mean, not that we're numb to it. It's always great to see that ka-ching happen, but we do see this so very often, and that's because we know what we're looking for. The books are out there. They're at flea markets. They're on a they're at garage sales. They're at estate sales. They're at the Goodwill bins. These books are still at the Goodwill bins. It's if it doesn't have a barcode, Goodwill isn't putting it up in their auction there. They don't want to do the research. So let them ignore the research, and you guys should be picking it up. You
Yeah,
know,
and I do eBay auctions. So I do have some stuff. I start them all at $1. So some of them do sell for 3, 4, $5. But I will say that with my eBay auctions, I have a 98% sell-through rate. 98% of the stuff I list is selling within 10 days. So
right.
my sell-through rate is astronomical compared to anyone, unless you're just doing strictly auctions.
Mhm.
Um, and I think auctions are one of the benefits for eBay that some people probably don't utilize as much as they can. And I think Amazon sellers, especially if you have a book that is very easy to sell, it's something that you can auction off. And then I mean, we may as well talk about Whatnot as
Right.
a
Yeah. Yeah. You could piggyback the auctions on the Whatnot, and you and I mean, you're doing Whatnot once a week, solidly once a week. I'm doing it 6 days a week. No matter what you and I sell, we do start everything at $1.
Mhm.
And if anybody missed the video we did at the very first week of the year of 2025, we both showed our numbers of what we were doing on eBay and Whatnot. And I did over $120,000 on Whatnot, and that's a small amount of my time. Whatnot, it's an hour or two a day. And it's just been an incredible ride because the marketplace is changing, and Whatnot has shown and showcased the idea of live bidding. And
Mhm.
this and other markets are now doing this. eBay is still in their preparation of live selling. They have a little program going on right now, but other marketplaces are doing this. And this is the future. The future is going to be live bidding.
And I think one of the misconceptions maybe about Whatnot is it's not a place to sell your junk. You have to put up interesting books if you wanna. Most of my sales range between like $500 to $1,000 for
Sure.
selling 60 to 70 items. It usually takes me anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours to do the live sale. And I put up some really, really good quality items that I could auction off on eBay, but then I am able to mix in some religious books, some modern religious books that I don't have space for them here at the bookstore, and they're not eBayable at all. They have no value to me. Otherwise, I'd probably donate them. And you can kind of mix in some of that filler stuff, and it sells. It all sells. Um,
Every show. Every
yep,
show.
yep. I think last sale I did have two items that didn't get a $1 bid out of 60. So I think that's pretty good.
No, a little bit better than pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
But
amazing.
yeah, you know, there's just the same amount of junk on Whatnot as there is bad, unknowledgeable sellers on eBay
Mhm.
and
Yep.
bad, unknowledgeable sellers on Amazon. Except with Whatnot, it's on video. You can watch it live. You can see some of the poor quality stuff that's being sold, but that's not the macro of the marketplace.
Yeah. So I think one of the things the advantage that Amazon sellers are losing is probably access to the FBA. And it does sound like at this point that things may not switch back. So booksellers on Amazon may be forced to do merchant fulfilled
Right.
and list the items, have them at their physical location, and then when they sell, do the shipping themselves, ship them individually. So they're
Mhm.
losing that advantage. So I think it would be a great time for them to try other platforms.
Right. And also, let's be fair. You and I are spouting positively about eBay. You and I definitely have our issues with eBay. We can
Hmm.
do a whole nother show on that. eBay, like all platforms, is not perfect. It has its issues. What we're specifically talking about is if you're an Amazon seller who's frustrated with what's going on right now, here's another avenue for you. Here's another way to think about the books, the CDs, the DVDs, whatever you're selling and whatever you're struggling with Amazon. I know there's a lot of Amazon sellers out there who are down 20%, 50% more
Yeah.
on their daily numbers. And if that persists, that's a negative life-changing quality that you're going to have to pivot on. And so, what I want to put out there for everybody is if anybody has any questions about what you and I do, they can definitely check out our eBay pages. They can look at our sold comps. They can look at what we list daily. It's all transparent. You can't hide from that.
Yep.
And I run a Patreon group called Paper Gold, an ongoing book hunters
I
conversation.
was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, they can talk about that. But even more importantly and quickly, if they have any questions once they watch this video, just have them put the questions in the chat or reach out to you and I on Instagram, and you don't have to sign up for anything. Just ask Kent and I questions, and we're here to help you. We are here to help you.
And you know what? I think one of the things that people can do is they can look at my eBay store. I'm AnimalVet52 is my eBay username. Max is Common Ground Finds. You can look up our stores. You can see our inventory. You can see what's selling good, what's selling bad, what exactly is selling, what titles and categories are selling. And you can go click our solds and see every item that sold yesterday, last week, whatever you want to do. You can search highest to lowest,
Right.
and you can see our results every single day. Me and Max. Max's goal is $1,000 a day. Mine's a little less, and you can see him hitting it consistently for the last. It'll show you the last 3 months of his sales, the last 3 months of my sales, and I think there's no doubt what me and Max are doing is working for us and can kind of be used as a benchmark of, oh hey, maybe I should try selling art books. Max is doing really good with these kinds of art books. I can try that.
Yeah, and there is a lot of factors you and I talk about: geography, where you are, where you live, access to books. But you and I are always solution based, whether we're in Paper Gold or we're talking on our Monday show, Pick Our Brains. We're always thinking about solutions, and so I just want to make sure the Amazon sellers know that there's another place to turn if they want.
Yeah, and you know what? Some of them come to eBay and they're so unbelievably lost because it's a different system. You have to do the research yourself. But I mean, the research is easy. Max sometimes maybe can't find a book and he'll message me, "Hey, what do you think of this one?" I'll be like, "Oh, right here, I found it. This I would price it for 75 bucks or whatever." Um, and it just takes time and practice, but you're definitely always willing to. You can always reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. And then, like Max said, he has the Paper Gold group that has about 140 um, strictly book selling members, but they also dabble in
Yeah,
all
they
kinds.
dabble in DVDs and vinyl records and in all media. And it's a great networking. It's a great Q&A session. We have a show every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. We also have a specific show on Tuesday, and I do a very specific show on Friday afternoon. So there's three shows per week to have questions answered, to feel like you're in a community, and to a lot of the paper golders work with each other and make deals happen too, and they
Mhm.
work together, and it's that the networking is second to none.
And I think as far as a reselling media group, it's probably very uniquely one that does not just focus on Amazon. It's Amazon, eBay. There's lots of people doing Etsy. There's several people doing Whatnot, ABE, Biblio, all the different bookselling.
Liveauctioneers.com. I mean,
Yep, live auctioneers, people doing local sales. There's a couple bookstore people.
we even had someone last week talk about their success with Pango.
Yep, and it is really cool. There's people all over the country. There's quite a few in California. There's quite a few in New England. I think there's two in Wisconsin now, so that's pretty cool.
And Australia and England and Israel, and it's international. And whether the shipping charges are different in your other country, we solve the problems you can't find.
Yep, and you know what? I think historically, Amazon people probably have just been strictly Amazon. Some of them haven't thought much about diversifying into other platforms because Amazon works. Now they're being forced to. And I think some of them are going to be shocked how easy and quick they can start making money on eBay, whatnot, Etsy, all these other platforms.
And we'll be excited to answer all your questions and take all your jabs along with it too.
Yep. And me and Max, we have a live show here on my YouTube channel every Monday night. I'm going to put all of his links in the description of this. It's going to have the Discord. It's going to have his Facebook and his Instagram. What else? Your eBay channel. He is Paper Gold Podcast on YouTube.
Which is fun. That's just a fun channel I love creating.
Yeah, Max, if you love books and book selling, his YouTube is pretty awesome.
Cool. Well, I do have to get ready for a Whatnot show today, Kent. But I'll be looking
Common Ground finds over on Whatnot. Go check them out.
Yeah, and I'll be looking forward to any questions that come our way in the next couple of days.
Yeah, definitely feel free to put questions. If you have any questions about eBay or reselling or anything, put them on this video, and me and Max will both be answering them for
and
you.
If you watch this before Monday afternoon or evening, come on into our Pick Our Brain show and introduce yourself and let's talk.
Yep, I am going to post this Monday morning. So
beautiful.
Perfect. Thank you all.
Great Sunday, Kent.
Bye-bye.